everyone, it's Dee here. Thanks for joining me for Wildcard Wednesday. As you can see, I sound like I'm repeating myself a lot these days, but I'm still working from my home studio. And as I've said before, the things in the box, which you'll hopefully have collected from reception, they might differ slightly, but they'll be, the same in essence, if you see what I mean, because I'm using materials that I've got at home. And when I pack your boxes, I will use what's at the centre. So there are a few little differences. Anyway, so I normally teach these classes at the Attenborough Arts Centre, which is the University of Leicester's arts venue. If you're not familiar with it, if you're first years, you won't be familiar with it because it's been closed while you've joined us in Leicester because of the lockdown. But it will be opening within the next few months, and then you'll have to come and check it out because there's lots of exciting exhibitions, events, classes, creative classes and courses you can join. There's a little theatre there, we have music nights, etc. So you have to keep your eyes peeled for that. So I'm in charge of the lighting and camera. I know I'm not made for this, but I'll do my very best. And I'll turn the camera around now and we'll see what's in your box this week. Okay, right, so here's your box. I like doing that. Anyway, the extras you'll need this week are water. That's all, just some water. You might need a pen, in fact you will, you'll need a pencil. But I'm not going to put one in the box because A, we haven't got any, and B, you only need to do one line, so it's not really much point. Right, let's have a look, see what's inside the old box. So we have a pair of scissors, a pot of glue, a card, a blank card and an envelope. Yes, because you know what's coming up, don't you? Within the next 2 weeks. If you're not sure, it's got something to do with bunnies and eggs and chocolate and cards, obviously. And it begins with E and it ends in R, and it's usually known as Easter. Anyway, tissue paper and a paintbrush. Okay, let's get rid of the box. Now then, I'm going to work on I've got a scrap of paper here I'm going to work on. So this is similar, we did a card a couple of weeks ago. This is a similar but different. Okay, so just put your blank card to one side for now. You won't need that to begin with. Or your scissors. All you'll need is your tissue paper and your glue and your paintbrush and the water. So, what I want you to do is get a piece of tissue. I'm going to choose the lightest colour that I've got. And I'm going to start ripping up bits of the other tissue that I've got into strips, little pieces like this as well. Let's just make this a bit slimmer. Oh, that's annoying. I want these slimmer. Let's see if I can rip that down the middle. Ish. Oh, that's better. Let's take have a few little pieces as well. So you can do this, tear up all the pieces of tissue that I've given you in your box. Don't start on a dark piece because you want the dark piece as your pattern, not your background, because you won't be able to see through it if it's dark. Whereas we can just use that for highlights, you see, dark lights almost. So let's leave it like this. Okay, let's just put that there. Put all those bits to one side for now. Now we like this bit because this is the messy bit. So I'm working on a piece of A4 paper that I just got out the dustbin. So just use anything to start your gluing process. Now you can, what I would recommend is in your glue pot, if you get your brush and add some water to it to just thin it down a little bit so it goes further, okay? Because it's quite thick glue anyway. Give it a mix round. It'll still do the same thing. It's wonderful stuff, PVA glue, because it dries clear and it dries slightly shiny, so it's like a varnish. Might add a little bit more. Yeah, nice and mushy. Right, let's get some of this on here. I'm going to cover the whole thing. With this, you don't have to go right up to the very, very edge. You just want to cover up to like, you know, almost at the edge, so you can actually hold it with your hand like that without it getting too messy, she says. Oh dear, come on. Right, then we're going to start layering on some pieces. Oh, stuck to my fingers already. Okay, what I'm trying to do is get that so it's not got a crease in it. Stop it. Oh, that's just annoying. Right, okay. Oh! I'm sure you'll be doing this. I've had great fun getting everything stuck, as I said it wouldn't. Look, just put lots of bits of paper. We're going to make layers, okay? Layers of the tissue, and I don't want that crease in, so there we go. Layer upon layer upon layer, and you're going to do like an abstract picture. I'm hoping you'll have more exciting colours. This is all I had at home, so my colours are a lot more limited than I'm going to be giving you. I've only got those 3 colours, but you get the general idea. I want you to add as many layers as you like to your picture in random formation. I haven't even dipped my brush back into the pot yet because I haven't needed to, because there's enough on the brush. There we go, just a bit more. I love this bit. I find it very, very relaxing. I hope you do as well. It's nice and sort of, you don't have to think about too much really. You can just let your mind wander. You can put some music on. You can do this project with your friends in little groups and just have a bit of fun. It's not too serious. It doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. There isn't a right or wrong way of doing this. It's whichever way it goes is fine. And I love projects like that. There's no wrong way, there's no right way, there's no pressure on you from anybody except yourself. And that's a wonderful thing, to be able to do something creative and not really, it doesn't matter if you think it's right or wrong. There isn't a right or wrong way of doing it. I like that philosophy. There's a lot of pressure on you at university to get your essays in and your exams coming up and, you know, research projects, etc. Whereas with these creative projects, you can just forget about all that and just enjoy the moment. Be in the moment. I suppose they call that mindfulness these days, don't they? That's the trendy word for it. It's being mindful. I'm very lucky in my job because I'm a self-employed artist, so I spend all my days just messing about with bits and bobs. Usually it's messing about with clay, making things. If you want to see what I get up to in my everyday life, you can have a look on my Instagram feed under D Barnes Designs and you'll see what I do for my business on there, because I'm always posting and I'm always making things. There. Now it doesn't matter if you've got little gaps, obviously that looks quite good, of the colour paper, the original piece that's on the base. We just want to cover everything now with the glue. And then you're going to put this somewhere to dry out, either on a radiator. If you have a hairdryer, you can use a hairdryer on it to dry it out. Oops. We need it to be dried out before we can go on to the next stage of the card making. Okay, so in order for it not to dry onto your table or your piece of paper, I'm just going to lay it on top of my cup with my water in like that to dry. I might just pop it in front of the open window to dry out.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we have our dried out piece of tissue with all the colours on, and that sounds nice and crispy. If you hold it up to the light, it looks great. So just pop that to one side for the minute, and get your blank card and your pencil. What I want you to do, now let's just measure this. Let's just fold that in half for a minute. And make sure that we don't make our line bigger. So it's going to be about there. Okay, so I'll just put a little mark there. What I want you to do now is draw. Now you can draw around something round. Let's see if I've got something. Or you could use a protractor. Or you could just freestyle it. Let's see. Will this work? This might work. Let's do that. Do this. Yes, I'm going to use this pot that I've got. Okay, I'm going to draw around it. If you haven't got anything round, then just freestyle it. Okay, so you've got your half circle like this. Now I want you to get your scissors. Actually, I'm going to use my other scissors. Just because I like these ones. Okay, so what I want you to do is from the inside of the line there, I want you to cut, let's go right close there, about 5 millimeters in. And I want you to make that cut and go directly up to the circle edge. And we're going to move the scissors along, keeping it straight. Let's see if I can get this right where you can see it. Hold the card really tight in the other hand. So in straight lines, you don't have to be like, you know, completely exact. It doesn't matter if one's slightly bigger than the other, that's fine. I'm going to go up to the edge. I suppose if you had a ruler you could draw the lines on to get them straight, but I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to cut it all the way across. Take your time. Go very slowly at the end when you get to that pencil mark. So this is meant to represent, well, I mean, it's round. It's kind of like an Easter egg shape. It was meant to be like an Easter egg shape, but I wanted to draw around something to make it look a bit smarter. If you're very skilled and you can draw like an egg shape on your card instead of a circle, then that would be better, I suppose. But it's a circle that represents eggs. Think of eggs as round, you know. It's a card that you can send to your friends or family either for Easter. If you don't celebrate Easter, then you can just send it as a hello, I love you card. I'm going to do that little snip there, and I am going to do that little snip there as well. Go back to the beginning and just take that up to the line. Okay, so what I want you to do next is, so you've got your lovely frills. We go back, we take that first one, and I want you to pull it up and see if you can kind of like, because we're going to cut this. fold it so that we can cut it. Let's see if I can get my scissors in. I'm going to hold the tail and cut round like that. I can get that bit like that, look. And neaten that first cut up. Just be very careful not to cut the next bit. Let's pull it out. Right, the next one, I'm going to kind of fold it like that across so that when I cut it, it's keeping the shape of the circle like that. And then I'm going to go every other one. I'm going to fold up and do a cut. Like that. I'm going to have to turn it around soon because I can't get my scissors across. Right, looking good. So I'm holding onto the tail, pulling it tight. Ooh, careful. Nearly cut another bit off there. Gets tricky when you get round to this side. That one, I'm going to go in there and cut that bit out a bit. Oh, you've got to do that very carefully without snipping the one next to it. And then that last little one, I'm going to do that without bending it. I'm just going to go around with the scissor. Around, very careful there. Okay, so if you want to tidy those little bits up inside, you just get your scissors in and just go round very carefully. That's tricky. Like those bits. Really careful there, it's be very easy to snip. Oh, I don't want that to break. Get that bit there. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. that. And I think I'll just do that last one. The others don't look too bad. Come on. Let's twist it off there. Excellent. Right, if we open it up, it should look like that. Which is super. Okay, let's get rid of all your scraps. Okay, so now what I want you to do is open up your card and get your tissue, and we're going to somehow, I want you to do a circle. Now it just so happens that by sheer coincidence my colours go there, so just to be on the safe side, what I'm going to do is, if I place this here, I can see that I need to come in slightly on the top and the bottom. I'm going to do it generously to begin with, so I'm going to cut my own semicircle. I suppose what I could do is put my pot on it again, but I'm not going to, because I want it to be bigger than the pot. So I'm going to freehand it, and I'm just going to go around like this, taking off that edge. And then I'll measure against card, because I quite like that circle. I suppose what we could do is make it looking a bit square, so I might make that a little bit rounder. Let's turn it around the other way. And then if you want to, you can just open it up and cut it into actually, I quite like this idea. We could do this again with different shapes. Like if for Valentine's we could have done it as a heart. That would look great. But it's given me a few ideas, because we like card making, don't we? Yes, we do, Dee. Okay, so what I want to do, so you can see on your tissue that one side that's got the glue on has come out really strong in colour, and the other side hasn't. But now we're going to get messy again, because what I want you to do is we're going to glue it all together. Now I wonder if it will look the same. See, if you hold it up to the light, what I want to do, I want to just see, hang on, let me get some kitchen roll. I want to see if I paint on the other side, if it shows through just as much. Let's just put a bit of glue on. We have to put the glue on anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. It doesn't show through quite as pretty, so you need to decide if you want the pretty side, the stronger colour side, to show up when you open the card, or whether you want it to show when the card is closed. So you can experiment by placing it like that or placing it like that. I think it's going to have to be that way around. So in which case, what I want you to do first of all, you're going to paint the strong side, or whichever side you've decided is going to face outwards, in the glue. Cover the whole thing again. Get off. Actually, let's do it not on the card. That would be much more sensible, wouldn't it? Make sure this time you get right up to the edges. Oh dear, let me just shut my window. I don't like that sound. I'm not sure if you're picking it up, but I can hear it. The sound of a drill somewhere. Somebody doing some DIY. Okay, let's do that. Oop. Okay, the whole thing's covered, yes? So we're going to bring the card back in. Get off. Eek. Keep it real, Dee. Keep it real. Right, okay, card in. Sticky side down. And stick it on fairly centrally, okay? And then I want you to, I'm going to use this bit of kitchen roll. I'm going to just pat it down so that it sticks. Let's lift it up before it gets completely stuck on the paper. Now then, oh, I think that looks so good. You hold that up to the light now. It looks absolutely fantastic. Let me just see if I can move the camera. Look at that. Isn't that great? So the idea is it's like a stained glass window. That's what I had in my head. Okay, so you've got to leave that to dry. But what I want you to do is put another layer of PVA glue on that inside. I think that looks really pretty actually on the inside. You can leave it matte if you like that, or to seal it, let me just get another scrap of paper because that's really gluey now. I'm just going to turn it over. It doesn't matter if it sticks to the underside. Yeah, so I'm going to pop a bit more glue in. I'll make sure I give you lots of glue. Ook. The glue I'm using at home isn't as good as the glue that I'm going to put in your box, because I think the glue that I put in your box dries slightly shiny. No, not shiny, I mean slightly more kind of plasticky. This has gone a bit crispy. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll stop rambling now. Okay, I'm just going to water that down a little bit more. It doesn't need to be too thick. Add the water. So I'm just going to cover the actual pattern. You don't need to cover the whole card, just that coloured bit on the tissue. And then, of course, you need to leave this somewhere safe to dry before you write on it. Now, you might be thinking, where can I write on it? There's nowhere to write my message. Well, you've got that bit round there. You can do a circular message. I think I might send this to my mum and dad. They appreciate handmade things. Super, love it. Okay, don't forget to put your brush in water. If you leave your brush out, it will go hard. But you can reconstitute it in water. So there you have it, folks. Your stained glass Easter card. I absolutely love that. I think that's a successful little project. Don't fold it over. It's going to stick to itself. So just leave that standing up somewhere in the window so you can look at it in all its glory to dry. And yeah. Now then, let's just turn the camera back round. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed that, and You can't see here because I'm holding it against the light, but trust me, you'll see how pretty that looks. Yeah, very pleased with that one. So that's it for this week, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed our Easter card making workshop. And next week we will be doing another exciting workshop, which I'm not going to reveal what it is yet, but it'll be equally messy and just as much fun. Anyway, I hope that you're keeping busy and you're not feeling too lonesome, and that you're mixing with your friends and your pods and your groups and your bubbles or whatever they're called. And I hope we can get to meet one day. Maybe over the summer we can. In the meantime, I say my usual weekly motto, which is stay safe, stay well, and stay creative. Okay, until we meet again then, everybody. This is Dee saying bye.